Call to order the June 29th, 2026 regular school board meeting. I'll ask Dr. Jones to lead us in a moment of prayer.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for all things. We thank you, dear Lord, for the gift of teaching and for the gift that you've given to all our employees who do teach our children. We ask that your wisdom and your knowledge be upon them. We thank you for the parents. We thank you for this community. We thank you for this school board. Forgive us for our sins. Own us as your children. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda and proposed agenda modifications?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the agenda and the proposed agenda modifications.
Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries. Board comments. Are there any comments?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I'm concerned about our meeting dates, our meetings day, and our meetings week. Over the last 5 meetings, including tonight, we've changed those. And some of my citizens in District 2 are concerned about not being able to get to the meetings because of all the changes we made. And I pray that this is not a ploy to disenfranchise the voters in District 2 on the days and the times of our school board meetings. I have no idea why they're changed, but I know over the last 5 meetings, we've changed the day, the hour, and the week. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So as we continue our work tonight, I just want to briefly remind us of the responsibility we've been entrusted with. Every decision we make ultimately impacts the students, educators, and families who are counting on us. And while there will always be difficult conversations and differing perspectives, I hope we never lose sight of our common purpose. Our community deserves a board that is focused on solutions, committed to transparency, and willing to do the hard work of governance with professionalism and respect. We won't always agree, but we can disagree without becoming distracted from the work that matters most. As I've said before, I'm not here to win arguments. I'm here to ensure that every child in Dothan City Schools has access to a safe learning environment, excellent educators, and the opportunity to reach their full potential. I remain committed to asking thoughtful questions, making decisions based on facts and what's in the best interest of students, and working collaboratively whenever possible. Our students deserve our very best, and I will continue doing everything within my responsibility to ensure they receive it. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Yes, ma'am.
Audience, board, I'd like to, first of all, let me concur with what Dr. Jones has said about the timing of the meeting. Our dates have changed, our day of the week has changed, and many people make their decision to come to board meetings or whatever based on the day that we have board meetings. Now, this date was changed, and I did ask Dr. Askew, why did the vote, who changed the vote? And the board meeting, and he said the chairman did, and the chairman said she asked 4 people, and those 4 on the left side. She did not ask me, Dr. Jones, or Taisha what day would be fine with us, but decisions are being made without even entertaining us. So I want to concur with that, what Dr. Jones said, and I hope that we can, and as the chairman will, talk to all of us about different changes that are made, just not to make them. Okay, now the second thing I have concerned about is the rising costs of our attorney. We pay our attorney, a decent salary, a great salary, I think. But what we're finding is that this bill is not being itemized and given to us. And I would like to see an itemized bill. What I'm told is that the chairman, here again, will tell, well, Stephanie is not here, our CFO, just go ahead and pay him. I might be wrong, but this is what I'm told. And so, but I think it should be itemized, because when I look at the bill for May alone, I have on the itemization, I guess it's from the chairman, I don't know if it's from the attorney or not, but we have 11 others, and that doesn't tell us anything. It's a general representation, and it doesn't tell us who or what you're doing. And I think as a board, we need to know, and as the public, you need to know that we are looking out for us and our financial interests. That's it.
Anyone else? Okay. Superintendent's report, Dr. Askew.
Okay, now it's on. Thought we tested it before. Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Askew, and members of the board. I'm Brittany Shepard, and I'm filling in for Karis Harmon for tonight's superintendent report. Tonight, we're proud to recognize Kate Isbell, a class of 2026 graduate of Dothan City Virtual School, for being named a national winner in the America 250 America's Field Trip contest. The national contest challenged students from across the country to answer the question, what does America mean to you? They were asked to do this through artwork and writing. Thousands of students from across the country submitted entries, with a panel of current and former educators selecting just 250 awardees. Kate was one of only 125 first-place winners nationwide. Kate's beautiful painting that you see on the screens now earned her an all-expense-paid educational trip to Yellowstone National Park this summer, where she'll join fellow first-place winners for a unique experience exploring one of America's most iconic national parks. Kate is with us tonight, and we wanted to extend her congratulations on this incredible achievement. Kate, your talent and creativity earned you national recognition, and we are proud to celebrate this accomplishment with you. We can't wait to see where your talents take you next. Kate, will you please join the board on the stage for a photo? You may be seated. Thank you. I would also tonight like to highlight one of our newest summer initiatives, the Backyard Summer Reading Program. This program was created to bring books, learning, and fun directly into the neighborhoods and help students stay engaged over the summer while also creating opportunities for families to connect with the people who will be serving their children this school year. If you take a look on your screens, you can see some highlights from the event captured by DCS PR. Our first stop was at Jameson Village, and we welcomed 55 children, while our second event at Crawford Village welcomed 35 children. At each event, every child has taken home free books, enjoyed story time, participated in hands-on enrichment activities, and connected with friends, families, and school leaders. While these numbers are encouraging, it's the connections being made that tell the real story. Each event helps keep reading at the forefront during the summer while strengthening the connection between our schools and the communities they serve. Students are leaving with free books and full bellies, families are discovering literacy resources, and parents are getting to know the leaders who are invested in their children's success. The whole idea behind the program is to continue to instill a love of reading and a love for learning while building stronger relationships across our community. I do want to take a moment to remind everyone that our third and final session is coming up. It was set for earlier this month, but the rain put a damper on that. We encourage students, families, and community members to come out, enjoy educational activities, free lunches for students, and an afternoon of togetherness on July 8th from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. at Crimson Ridge. This is located at 105 Booker Street. Again, this is happening July 8th, and if you need any details or information, just head on to our social media pages at Dothan City Schools on Facebook and Instagram, or visit our website. Thank you.
Okay, we want to call Ms. Corbett to the podium for the curriculum and instruction report.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Askew, I am standing in for Assistant Superintendent Keisha Thompson this evening. Tonight, I am providing an informational update regarding the K-12 Media Center Access and Literacy Engagement Review recently conducted across Dothan City Schools. The purpose of this review was to better understand how students across our district are accessing books, utilizing media center services, and participating in literacy engagement opportunities within their schools. As a part of this process, schools were asked to provide information regarding student access to book checkout, media center schedules, literacy engagement activities, circulation practices, and challenges impacting literacy access and media center usage. I am pleased to share that all schools requested to participate in the review submitted responses and supporting information. Overall, the review showed many positive practices occurring across our schools. Most schools reported active student checkout systems, scheduled opportunities for students to access the media center, and a variety of literacy engagement activities designed to strengthen reading culture and student literacy experiences. Schools shared literacy activities including read-alouds, reading challenges, family literacy events, STEM literacy activities, student book clubs, and literacy celebrations. Several schools demonstrated particularly strong literacy engagement systems with high circulation numbers, organized media center structures, and creative opportunities designed to increase student excitement around reading. At the same time, the review also helped identify several common challenges schools are navigating, including scheduling constraints, staffing limitations, intervention block scheduling, limited student access time, and technology needs. One important finding from the review was the need to continue balancing literacy intervention support with opportunities for students to independently access books and participate in literacy-rich experiences through media center programming. This review provides the district with valuable information that will help guide future literacy planning, support media specialists, strengthen literacy engagement opportunities, and continue aligning this work to the Dothan Way and our district literacy priorities. As we move into the 2026-2027 school year, curriculum and instruction will continue working with schools to support literacy engagement, student access to books, and strong literacy systems across the district. Thank you.
And we'll call Ms. Godwin to the podium for our summer projects update.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Askew. Thank you for the opportunity to come and share some of the things that are going on in the district for facilities improvement this summer. So I just wanted to give an update of what's going on just for this month. It's been a busy month so far, so we'll just look at the pictures and go through the slides together. Nothing very exciting about pictures of chillers except for that due to the advancement in technology funds that were voted on last summer, we have been able to replace the chillers and pumps at Highlands, Slingliff, Carver 9, and Kelly Springs will be coming this week. So the first 3 schools that I mentioned have already been completed, and then Kelly Springs work is happening this week. And Comfort Systems is the one that is installing all of those for us this summer. At DPA, the Davis Gym, it was time for that gym to be updated, renovated. I couldn't tell you the last time it had been painted, but you can see several pictures of just broken glasses that were in the front and in the rear of the gym over time, and so we have been able to replace those, have those placed and painted. All of the walls in the gym have been painted. The railings have been painted there as well. As you recall, we replaced the bleachers there maybe 2 years ago, and they did not put them up again on the top section of Davis Gym, so that area was in major need of painting, so it had never been painted up underneath the bleachers, so that has a fresh coat of paint there as well. And the flooring has been removed where it has been old VCT tile. That is still, that renovation will happen again on Wednesday. They'll come back and replace all of that with new LVT flooring and remove all of the VCT tile in that gym. They also asked for an upgrade to their concession area. So they were just setting up folding tables when it was time to sell for concessions there. So they've asked for a built-in concession stand where they can just lock everything up, bring it out. So that is obviously not finished, but where we are now with that, once they come in with the flooring, should be by the end of this week, we can have a better update for you on that. In the older gym, when it was renovated after the tornado damages there, it was noted just up in the bleacher area how the railings were, the original railings there, they were very short, seemed unsafe really from standing up to that point. So the picture on the left is your older railings. The picture on the right is the new updated higher railings to make that space safer. One of the projects I'm excited about too, if you had been in the DPA auditorium in the past few years, there were very, very many chairs there that were in disrepair. And so we were able, a few years back, Lee had some funding that was able to replace the carpeting in there, and we were able to paint and do a few upgrades, but we did not have the money for the seating. But one of the things that you voted on last summer was to replace these seats. And so those have been removed. The flooring has been patched and painted this week. We're going to use this time that the chairs are out to replace some of the lighting and a few of the damaged areas that we just couldn't get to above the seats. So that will all be fixed and repaired, and they should be in the mid-July to come back and install the new seating there. Oh, but let me mention while we're looking at seating, you notice that there are some missing seats here in our auditorium tonight. The additional funding, when this project came back, it came back about $20,000 shorter than what you had voted to spend on this. So these seats here are also the original 1970 seats and are failing. So there were several seats in disrepair here. We used the additional funding that was set aside for these seats to replace a few more rows here in the center and bring it up to be equal on the sides. That company arrived Monday. Hussey is a large company, but the shipment comes out of China. So everything was scheduled to be here Monday. The company was coming to harvest and repair, so they removed these seats, replaced and repaired several seats that were damaged in the board auditorium, and then when they opened the pallet that arrived, it was the wrong color of the stanchion pieces that are in between the seats. So they have been over backwards to have us up and going before the next board meeting, but their timeline was to have it ready for Thursday, which is why they went ahead to repair those on Monday when they were waiting for the shipment. However, it should be in full working order, so pardon our progress. It should be completed before we come back again. On the Dothan High front sidewalks, if you had been out there anytime soon, lots of trip hazards, broken concrete there. So those also, with advancement technology funds for deferred maintenance, we have replaced those all the way down to the front. You may remember around spring break time we were able to do those in front of the Convocation Center, but they have now been replaced all the way down and made it a little more ADA accessible at the front where the little rounded area is, where you don't have to step up onto the curb there. Part of this summer project is also to replace windows and doors at Dothan High School. We have started with the windows there last week. These were the original 1970 windows that were single paned, and so the view on the right is the new double insulated tinted windows. That should be much better. It is much more visually pleasing too, but they have been able to do, I think, 3 hallways worth, and they're making their way around the front. And so the remainder of the windows and doors, any doors that haven't been replaced, exterior doors within the last couple of years, are all getting replaced there as well. Track lighting, it's just been a while since we've talked about that, but they are working on that. The concrete poles were actually donated to us. This is a Musco project for Musco Lighting, so it'll be an additional lighting for the track area. And so we removed the older poles, and we're going to install them on the outside of the track area, but the city of Dothan donated these concrete poles when they were removing them from their soccer complex. And so we've waited on them to be able to get those out for us, but those are supposed to be set this coming Wednesday. They've set the new panel and they've run all the new conduits. All that work is ready for them to set the poles Wednesday. Also part of the project with Lewis Construction with the doors and windows for Dothan High does include a few parking lot pavings throughout the district. We've been working on those within the last couple of years. So this summer's work will be Highlands, Slingliff, and Hidden Lake. Highlands and Slingliff have been completed and striped. You're looking at Highlands there. They also busted out some of the curbing at the front to make it a little more ADA accessible, and Hidden Lake is scheduled to be paved next week. We were able to get in 2 more blacktops also at Selma Street and Dothan 6th Grade Academy for their playground area. We have been replacing old carpet this summer, and so Girard Elementary Media Center, we've removed all of that old carpet. They have LVT flooring there. D6 Media Center has also been replaced, and Dothan Prep and Dothan High School Media Center will also be replaced this summer. And so they're all getting the upgraded floor is there. Also, Beverly's Music Room has been replaced. In addition to LVT flooring, we have had a series of issues with those particular urinals at Carville 9 in the bathrooms near the cafeteria. And so we have nursed those along, and it is just time to retile that. So we have made some improvements there. This is before when they had removed those and have gotten it ready for retile. They actually started that project today and have removed all of the tile, and will start installing new tile there tomorrow. And petitions are coming the week of July 13th. You may remember us talking about doing playground assessments towards the end of this school year. We had some savings that came from the advancement in technology when we did the chiller bid for installation. We had some savings there, and so in speaking with Dr. Askew and looking at our playground assessment, we went with the playgrounds that were in the direst need for some renovation. Some of Girard Elementary's pieces were the original pieces from when the school was built, old metal pieces that were really unsafe. So we will use that funding to replace, remove the old unsafe pieces to add additional pieces for them to play on. So Girard Elementary and Kelly Springs have received their new play system where we removed their older pieces. Vane had recently had that upgrade during the school year last year. We removed a couple of pieces that were slides that were no longer in code there this summer. And we have been, the maintenance department is going around and painting some of our older swings that are still in good shape. They just need a little upgrade. So this is Hurd. We are currently painting Fane and working on getting to Girard Elementary. We have several in line that we hope to get to this summer as well. Hurd has a new digital sign that was installed last week. It was a one-sided sign. It had just become non-compliant with any of our Windows upgrade. It would not receive any upgrades, so now it is a two-sided digital sign that they have working there on their property, and Beverly should also receive theirs soon this summer as well. And the only thing that I did not take a picture of, which was hard to capture, was all of the fire panels that have been replaced. You may remember that those funds also cover the replacement of the fire panels. It is wiring, new strobes, new announcements, new speakers. That has already happened at Kelly Springs, at Hurd, at Carver 9. Those have been inspected by the state and are fully functioning, and they are working on replacing the fire panel at Dothan Prep now. So, do you have any questions about everything we have going on?
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have Carver School of Math and Science and Technology Expansion and Concept Drawings. Mr. Mallory.
All right, good evening. So we've been speaking with Dr. Askew and with our architect, C.C. Litchfield, Mr. Riley Price, about some expansion at Carver School of Math, Science, and Technology, and he is here tonight to present those first drawings and answer any questions that you guys may have. So we'll bring him up. Riley.
All right, thank you all. Good evening. As you said, my name is Raleigh Price. I'm with SSNL Architects. Appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I will try and be efficient with my time, but I do want to make sure you get a good understanding of everything here. So, let's see if the button works. There we go. Just to orient everyone with the site here, of course, this is the Carver MST facility. What we're looking at doing for the addition to this space, which would bring 7th and 8th grade classrooms to this facility, would be growing to the north of the site there. So the green roof building that you see to the top right, that would be the existing gymnasium. The silver roof building running left to right on the page, that is your main educational spaces. And then you have the multi-purpose library area, which is the white little box in the top left there. So as we look to add on to this addition would be about 18,000 square feet. You can see the darker lines there. I'll zoom in on that in a second, but just to orient you, that would connect off of the end of the facility there. That would connect to the hallways and the media center that's on the end of the facility there. And this would provide 5 new 7th grade classrooms, 5 new 8th grade classrooms, and 3 special electives classrooms, as well as restrooms, administrative spaces, all of the behind-the-scenes functional, mechanical, electrical rooms, and a multi-purpose space as well that will serve many functions that we'll jump into here. So as you zoom in on this a little bit, again, you can start to see the layout of each of those classrooms. Again, there's 10 total, 13 if you count these special electives classrooms there. To the top of the page, that would be the administrative portion. So this would be designed to function so that you could have a separate drop-off and entrance for your 7th and 8th grade students. Logistically, we think that would work best than having to try and funnel the entire school through one space. Also would be a pretty long walk for them. This gives you an opportunity to create new secure entry vestibules and control points for your new administrative components that would go along with that as well. And then like I said, the rest of those spaces, they generally lay out as the classrooms. They all look the same shape and size there. The space off to the left on the page that has the lots of little boxes that are hard to read at this scale, that would be the multi-purpose space. So that would function primarily, first and foremost, as your dining space. So the food would have a prep kitchen, which is laid out to the left of that. The food would not be cooked in that space. We would utilize your current kitchen. We'd make a few upgrades to pieces of equipment in there that have outlived their lifespan anyway, and it'd be a good opportunity to be able to support the capacity of about 120 students eating at one time in there. And then we would be able to have warming carts and racks that would move it from the existing kitchen facility into this prep space so that it could be held and brought out fresh at the time that the students come through those spaces. Now I'll zoom in so you can hopefully see these spaces a little bit better, and we've got some renderings and things that will help explain this as well. So this would be that new entry space. This would be where the students would come in at the 7th, 8th grade portion, as well as any visitors or parents needing to meet with someone or pick up a student. This first lobby space would serve as the secure vestibule, much like all of the others that we have renovated around the city recently. So it's a controlled access point so that the kids are always safe. There would also be an administrative office there. There would be a unisex restroom that could serve any of the faculty, separate from the student restrooms. And then, of course, there would be a conference space to go along with that as well. Here's just a conceptual rendering of what one of the administrative offices in that space could look like. And here is a view conceptually of what that conference space could look like as well. So a good sized space that could hold a lot of different things, from teacher huddle ups to smaller meetings with, you know, a parent-teacher conference, those types of things that may need to take place as well in there. As we move on to the classrooms, we've tried to show you the flexibility of these spaces. These are designed to a good standard that gives you a lot of different options for the types of furniture that you set in there, depending on the type of program that you wanted to run in there, whether it's kind of a group activity, individual focus, or different little breakout sessions. Here's a few conceptual renderings. This one's set up as more of kind of a single orientation with kind of, you know, group focus. Here's another layout that's a more traditional, individualized, maybe more of a testing setup, of course. And then here's a view from that other angle, and of course lots of options of how you can push and pull and arrange that furniture in there. So very flexible spaces that give you long-term a lot of value for how you use each of them over the years. As we start to look at that multi-purpose space, again, its first and foremost priority would be to serve as the dining hall for the 7th and 8th grade students. You can see that space off to the left gives you kind of an in and out, a flow to go through the typical serving line in those spaces. And then again, we won't go through every one of them, but much like the classrooms, the furniture arrangements, they can mix and match. We can do a lot of different things in there, but one of the keys would be to make sure that as we change it, we keep the same seating at all times. So the tables could be taken out, they could be put into a storage room, and now it can serve as a convocation assembly setting. So you want to bring a whole grade in, give them a testing update or things like that. There's no tables, it's just chairs in here. You can really max that space out. At the same time, we're working through the storage components that are directly adjacent to this space, and there's going to be built-in storage spaces for the band program. So this seating right here shows a fan arrangement that if you wanted to move everything out and you wanted to hold band class in these spaces or a small performance in there, that's just showing a full band, you know, kind of set up, fanned out right there, facing the podium there. And then I won't bore you with the details, but this is just, we've been working with the nutrition department and making sure that we've got all of the right equipment and everything picked out in these spaces so it's compatible with what's in the current kitchen, and it can move properly between the two spaces, since they will not be cooking in this space. It will just be the prep and the serving area. And here's a few views of what that could look like. Of course, right now, you know, we'll continue the development with the branding and the theming and the colors and things to it, but this gives you a good idea of how the spaces lay out. This would be set up for more of the convocation or the assembly type setup, and then this would be more of the lunch setup. Again, we try to break that up so there's lots of different social options for the students and the teachers to be able to spread out in there. And then there, of course, is your band setup. And you can see the serving and prep area in the back of this view as well, for where the students would go in and out for their lunch every day. As you move to the outside, this is a conceptual rendering of what that drop-off pickup point would look like, kind of that new branded entry to the north of the site there. Again, keeping in tone with the residential scale that the facility has right now and the homes that are around that area. This would serve as your bus drop-off area, as well as have your covered entries, and would serve all of your means of access for ADA, and we'd have secure fences and things once you get past a certain control point here. Again, working with kind of the brick and metal panel aesthetic that exists already on the campus there, and just trying to really take some of those things and embellish them a little bit more to create a nice homey entrance into that space. Good branding opportunity there with the circular drive-through it as well. And then a quick view to the back area. This would be coming directly off of that multi-purpose dining area. This faces all to the north, so lots of natural light into this space, so we want to capture that. You see lots of windows in the background there. Carver's got a rich history already when you go to that campus of a lot of outdoor garden and educational spaces, so we really tried to incorporate that into this as well. We see that there could be potentially some opportunities that we've oriented the building around those outdoor gardens, that you could start to have spaces that could potentially overflow for outdoor seating dining areas for maybe certain groups from time to time. But perhaps more important than that, it could really serve as outdoor classroom seating and be very valuable and kind of functional flex space, as we call it. So that is a very quick overview. I know I threw a lot at you there and went through that very quickly, and there were a lot of images to look at. But that is a very high-level overview of where we are at the moment. Budget-wise, what we're tracking on this at the moment, I always like to break things out in terms of construction cost and total project cost. The construction cost, I'm currently estimating that we're sitting right around $8.4 million. And then for what I call soft cost is about another 20-25%. That's everything from surveying, professional design services, surveying, advertising, and all of the furniture that would go in each of the classrooms as well. I probably, I think my numbers are very accurate in the construction portion, because that's what we deal in every day. I always try to represent the soft costs there, just because those are real numbers that you're looking at the end of the day, but I probably skew a little bit conservative on those, honestly. So all of that would be all in. The project investment would be right around $10.5 million for that. So that is, like I said, I went very quickly, but that is a very high-level overview. I'll be happy to go back to any particular pictures or plans if I need to talk through any of that.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
I do have a question for you, sorry.
Okay, yes.
In all the construction amount, can you tell us what the square footage average is for that?
Yes, so I'll jump to this. So you can see I've got kind of a breakout here for what each of the individual trades are averaging. All of it, when you combine, like I said, it's right at 18,000 square feet. So all of it, this is inclusive of site work as well, not just the building cost, but inclusive of site work. It's about $460 a square foot. We take a lot of pride in our cost estimating. All of these numbers are pulled from recent historic data throughout the state, particularly in the Wiregrass. I go back and every time we bid a project, I track these numbers. I go back after the fact and record kind of what I'm seeing for mechanical, what I'm seeing for structural, things like that, and try to use that for these cost projections. So that's what that's based off at the moment. And I feel very confident in those numbers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Raleigh, before you leave the podium, so that the audience and the board understands, at this point, we're about what % of the way through a design phase?
Yeah, we've taken it to about 25% of design right now, with the goal being, of course, schedule-wise, if everything proceeds forward, that we would want to occupy and use this facility by August of 2027. So overall timeline, it's fast and aggressive, but it is doable from a design and a construction standpoint. We would be looking at, like I said, about 25% now. The goals would be in terms of, coming back to y'all late July, to show you the update of where we are, to make sure that our cost estimates are still tracking with things. And then we would be looking early August to bid this out, so that in September, we would ideally be starting construction to give the contractor that wins this award as much time as possible to build that. So that's kind of a high-level timeline.
And so what we would be asking the board to consider tonight would simply be to approve the completion of the design phase. Is that correct, Raleigh?
That is correct.
Okay, and for clarity for the board, could you talk with them about what the cost involved would be?
The total full-service design fees from architectural, structural, civil, mechanical, electrical, fire alarm, fire suppression, all of that, all in to get it bid ready to go out, is about $480,000 for those services to date. Like I said, we're about 25% in roughly, so we're sitting somewhere around $90,000-ish, in terms of probably the effort that we've put into this at the moment. And so we would be looking to, know that there was a level of confidence, with the construction cost and funding, just because of, to occupy it by August of 2027, it will be an accelerated design schedule to have that ready by the end of this summer to be able to bid out. So.
Madam Chair, I have another question. That amount that you just gave, if I'm reading this right, that's built into the final cost of everything, correct?
Yes, that would be as part of those soft costs. Yeah, that is not, that's why I always try to represent construction costs, and just your all-in number currently is that 10.5 if you bid it out.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, do I have a motion to approve SS&L to complete the concept drawings and construction estimate for the proposed Carver School of Math and Science Technology expansion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve SS&L to complete the concept drawings and construction estimate for the proposed CMST technology expansion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman, I have a question. What is the funding source for this $480,000?
So that's coming up next. We've got our bond banker present with us that's going to talk about the bonds that we would sell in order to fund it, and also how the payment and breakdown is going to look on that.
So if we approve, I'm sorry, am I close enough to this? If we approve the plans to go forward, do we have to approve the bonds? Because that's the only way we can pay for it. Is that correct?
Correct. The
the
bonds would be the
plans.
only way we could pay for it.
Okay.
On those same lines, if we approve this, can we table the bonds and look at it? Does it all have to be approved tonight to move forward?
So if you'll come to the podium, I think he could give us more detail on the timeline.
Well, do you want to go, sorry, you want to start with a timeline first?
I think that's what the board's interested in, to know. Because what he would present in his presentation, I know we're kind of mixing the two. So it would be permission to get the bonds ready to sell, correct? So we wouldn't be approving the bonds tonight. The final approval would be in July. So the board would have a month to consider not only the design plan, but also the bond. And then if you came back in July and said, well, you didn't want to do it, then you could still not do it. But if you decide to move forward, then you could. So this is the step, the penultimate step. July would be, okay, we're ready, we're going to do this.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Before we proceed, I'd like to ask Dr. Askew if he could kind of back us up a bit and explain to everyone why this is even before the board, because I think we kind of missed that step of the purpose.
Sure. So among the many things that we've been working on this past school year, there's been lots of discussion about expanding the middle school program here in Dothan City Schools. And I think we landed on our discussions with the board, Carver MST as being a prime candidate for that. Our hope would be, obviously, if the project is approved, to open it next August, and we begin with the 7th grade. So our 6th graders would just roll over into the 7th grade. The following year, we would roll the 6th graders up to 7th, and the 7th would become 8th We have a plan already for staffing. We're talking about transportation, but all that comes after this component of the project. But it's really to expand those middle school opportunities and help keep, our Carver MST kids who oftentimes leave DCS.
All right. If there's, let us close out this motion, and then we'll get to you, Mr. Jolly, if you'll give us just a second, okay? All right. So all in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
I have
All
a
right.
vote, Madam Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry,
gonna-
all opposed, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to say nay, just because I feel like we can't vote on this until we've heard the bond presentation. Because
Okay.
if we, for clarity, if we vote on this, we're on the hook for the rest of the plan, correct?
If we proceed to completion in July.
Okay.
Once you hear the bond presentation, depending upon what you do with the bonds, because that's going to be the funding, that'll determine if we indeed proceed. What you said now is you have permission to proceed, but if the funding doesn't follow through, then we can't.
Okay.
Motion still carries. Okay. All right, Mr. Jolly, thank you very much. We appreciate your patience.
Yeah, no, all right, thank you. That was a nice presentation of the projects that we're going to propose issuing new warrants to fund. And I'm going to kind of go over that a little bit, talk a little bit about my company, and then show you possible structure that I think would work well for financing these projects. I'm Matt Parker. Not Matt Parker from Dothan, but I live in Birmingham. He's a great guy. I've met him a number of times. And my company, Joe Jolly and Company, we handle municipal bond issues, and that's all we do in the state of Alabama. So I've talked with Stephanie a number of times and Dr. Askew, and so we're talking about borrowing about $11 million. We round it up to 11 million, and look at that for the feasibility of the capital improvements that SSNL just went over in their presentation to you just a minute ago. $11 million, according to their estimates at this point, should take care of all the needed funds for those projects. Now, that being said, if when he comes back in July, we need to alter that number, we can alter the amount of new money at any time prior to what I call pricing a new issue. And what that means is we get everything put together, and then we actually market the issue to investors who, in turn, buy your warrants and fund the project. So we can change the amount of new money up or down at a later date, and it sounds like, that will be at the meeting maybe in July if things move forward. So we've identified the amount of money that we will finance. Now, what my company does is we put together a bond issue, and we prepare a prospectus with nationally recognized bond counsel that you've used in the past, and we use this instrument. We put this together. It describes the school system, everything about it, all your finances, all your facilities. It will go in depth about the new project, and it's got 5 years worth of financial statements in it, the proposed project and the proposed financing and the debt service schedules. And we take this document, and in the past we've gotten an underlying rating from Moody's, which is a rating agency that rates municipal bond issues all over the country. And currently you have an A1 rating from Moody's, which is an excellent rating. That's the highest rating in the single A category, which is excellent. And we've been able to get municipal bond insurance for your 3 previous issues in the past from Build America Mutual, which helps us get a good financing for you. So we anticipate that we'll keep our A1 rating from Moody's if we move forward with an issue similar to what I'm going to show you in just a minute. And I do believe we could get municipal bond insurance. Your 2025 audited financial statements just came out, and they look very good. They're very strong. You're in a very good financial standpoint. You have very little outstanding long-term debt relative to other school systems your size. And And that debt is also, financed over a very short period of time. A lot of schools have to finance these kind of projects over a 30-year period of time. My proposal for you tonight would be that all your outstanding long-term debt for capital improvements would be 15 years. That's including everything that we've done for you in the past, all three issues, the 2019, 2022, and 2024, and the proposed 2026. And what we do is we get a pledge. You get a portion of a 1 cent countywide sales tax that's levied in Houston County. The county commission takes 30% off the top. That's deposited into the Road and Bridge Department for purposes of streets and all that stuff and whatever they need for that. And then the rest of it's split between Houston County Board of Education and Dothan City Schools. And historically, it's been about a 60-40 split, Dothan getting about 60% of those proceeds. So I'll go over the tax proceeds in just a minute. So, okay. So there again, we're talking about borrowing $11 million, which will cover all the costs associated with the projects that were described earlier as they stand now. Now, if things change between now and the July meeting, of course, we will alter what we need to do on our end, up or down, depending on the amount of money that's needed, and if any additional projects are added or any projects are taken away. So that's a moving target that we can adjust with as your project changes, if it changes at all. So the pledge revenues, so in these issues, you identify a source of revenue that you can pledge to pay the debt service on a new issue. And in our case, it's your share of the 1 cent countywide sales tax. In 2025, that tax brought in from your audited financial statement, $9,453,000, $453,082, okay? So you basically got $9.5 million pledgeable revenues to pay debt service on the three issues that are now outstanding, the 19, 22, 24, and a proposed 2026 issue. So this is a proposed aggregate annual debt service schedule that, I know there's a lot of numbers up there, but I'll kind of take you through it. My program that I run, it goes backwards. So it goes from right to left. The big column is the second column on the left. The first number is $2 million, I can't read that, $2,680,670.83. That would be your total debt service on all your debt. So that's a 2019 issue, 2022, 24, and a proposed 2026 bond issue that would get you $11 million for capital improvements. Now, you'll notice that's a 15-year structure on all your debt. And in my discussions with Stephanie and with Dr. Askew, we determined that we wanted to keep our annual debt service as low as we possibly could. And so what we've done is we've layered in the $11 million of new money around the outstanding 2019, 22, and 24 issues. So what that does is that gives you a level annual debt service payment on all four of those issues of about $2,750,000 a year. Now, you've got a pledge of your share of the countywide sales tax, which brought in about $9.5 million. So you've got excellent coverage over that. It's about a 3.44 times coverage, which is really good. So that's sort of the debt service structure that we've got set up. That keeps your annual payment as low as we can keep it. And it's very short. You're amortizing your debt over a 15-year period of time. And that's well within the useful life of the projects that you're talking about building. So very comfortable with this structure. And, you know, if we take it any longer, it's not really going to help you lower. This is as low of an annual debt service payment as I can create for you. And it's the most efficient. You pay the least interest. So I think that the So this will all have to be submitted to the state superintendent's office and Board of Education in conjunction with, they have a financial advisor that will also go over all of this and discuss it with the state superintendent, and they will have to approve the structure as it is. I don't see any problem with that. We do school board issues all the time. I think this is very efficient. I think that they will like the structure. I don't think we'll have any problem getting it approved from that standpoint. So this is the structure that I'll recommend to you under the current circumstances. Now, I'd like for Ms. Herring to come up and discuss. We've got a tile in here that's your financial statement. I'd rather her talk about that, and I'll come back and talk a little bit about tile.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Herring. I'm the accounting supervisor standing in for Stephanie, who's away on vacation today. Basically, I'm looking at the snapshot here of the long-term debt of our physical assets here. The top portion that you see are the sources that we have available for debt service. So those will be our cash flows, the total top section there. The second section are the proposed expenditures that we have. Now those balances include the principal and the interest that we're paying. So if you take the revenue at the top and subtract the expenditures, you'll see this year right now it appears that we have a $259,000 deficit. But we have actually already absorbed that with our local funds. So if this were to be approved, you see in FY27 we would pick up with the $350,000 payments, and it would increase our debt sum each year going forward. This is keeping in mind that we're basically keeping all of the revenues and the expenditures the same based off whatever was set up whenever we originally got these debts. But the plan is to go ahead and make adjustments for the deficits in the local budget. So it will be able to be taken care of with our foundation and with our general fund. Do we have any questions when it comes to that?
Anyone? Thank you, Ms. Herring.
Thank you.
All right, along those lines, let me do note this, so the way that I've got it structured now, with layering in the $11 million new money, you would only be increasing your annual debt service payment. So you'd be getting $11 million net new money and only increasing your annual debt service payment by about $420,000 a year. So you're getting $11 million and you're only going to be paying about $420,000 more debt service each year to get that money. So it's really efficient. Now, an approximate timeline, we've got our meeting tonight. If you were to authorize us to get going with, it's quite a bit of legwork to get our document put together. We've got to gather a lot of information. And we'll work with bond counsel to put together the official statement, and Stephanie and the superintendent. And what we do is we get the preliminary official statement put together. We'll submit it to the State Board of Education Superintendent's Office and the financial advisor for the state. We will also send it to Moody's and get an underlying rating. We'll have to have a conference call, and they will pour over your entire financial situation, your ability to pay, the new debt service structure, and they'll assign an underlying rating. I'm assuming that it will continue to be an A1 rating, which is excellent. I do think we can get municipal bond insurance. So all that happens once I get the preliminary official statement put together, which will take me 3 weeks to a month to get it put together. And then, so what we would do is we would come back to you in the July meeting once you've got a better idea and understanding of your project and the costs are updated, and you decide, yes, this is exactly what we want to do. And at that point in time, I will give you an update from our standpoint if anything had changed from structure or from a market standpoint for the bond issue. And then what we would do between that and a following meeting is we would actually price a new issue. We would go out to investors and lock in a new issue for you. And then I would come back and bring that to you for your approval, final approval, at a later meeting in August, whatever date that is. And then at that point in time, if you approve, then we lock it in and y'all approve the bond issue, and we could close a new issue around the 1st of September. And based on the presentation just given, that sounds like that's pretty much in lockstep with the timeline that you need for the architects and beginning your construction. So if we can follow something similar to this, I'd have you money $11 million for your projects the 1st of September.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Barker, I was calling you by the wrong name. All right, do I have a motion to authorize Joe Jolly and Company to proceed with the insurance process for the proposed Dothan City Schools Special Tax Warrants Series 2026 not to exceed $11 million?
Madam Chair, I move that we authorize Joe Jolly and Company to proceed with the issuance process for the proposed Dothan City Schools Special Tax Warrant Series 2026 not to exceed $11 million.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Madam Chairman, this is $11 million of the taxpayers' money, and this is the first time that we're presenting it to the public. I don't want to be in a rush with any of this. We have to remember that this isn't our money. We are stewards of the public money, and not only that, we're rolling in other debt that we have yet to pay. We do know that we're likely to see a decrease in enrollment coming up. We have a charter school open, we have some private schools that are opening, and we don't know what our budget is looking like in the future. So I'm not making a motion, I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. I would like to table this so that we can look closely at it and make sure that we're being judicious with the public's money.
Do we have a date in mind to have Joe Jolly come back after the table to have the board take a vote on it? The July meeting? Matt?
I just want to say out loud, just to make sure that the recording can hear and that everybody can hear, he said if we move forward, this would be no cost to us, so there's no cost for you to do the planning portion.
That's right. So unless we close a bond issue on your behalf, which takes approval of the board, once we get everything put together, you owe me nothing.
Matt, how soon do you think you would have numbers together that we could share with the board ahead of the July meeting so they can start to process the information?
Next week, if that's sufficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is a bad week with the holiday coming.
Right.
But yes, certainly by next week for sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the May 19th, 2026 regular school board meeting, minutes for the May 28th, 2026 special called school board meeting? Hold on a minute.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes for the May 19th.
Wait, there's more. Minutes, meeting, the minutes for the June 15th, 2026 special called school board meeting. Okay, there we go. There was three.
She didn't put the, oh,
Yep.
okay.
No, it's fine.
Wow. Okay, Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes for the May 19th regular school board meeting and the minutes for the May 28th special school board call meeting and the June 15th special call meeting.
Okay, do I have a second? Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the May 26 financial reports for Head Start?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the financial report for Head Start.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Head Start enrollment and attendance for May 26th?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve Head Start enrollment and attendance.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? I said yay. I'm sorry. All right, motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Head Start monthly summary report for May 26th, 2026?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve Head Start monthly summary report.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Yay.
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Head Start FY27 grant application?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve Head Start FY27 grant application.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the 26-27 progression guide?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the 2026-2027 progression guide.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026-2027 Code of Conduct?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the 2026-2027 Code of Conduct.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the data governance policy update?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the data governance policy update.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the solid waste removal bid?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the solid waste removal bid.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the employee handbook?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the employee handbook.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve
Textbook.
the textbook purchase?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the textbook purchase recommendations for 6 through 12.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026-2027 salary and supplement schedules?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the 2026-2027 salary and supplement schedules.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to say thank you for I was the one that asked to table this and had some questions, and they were all addressed and handled, and I just wanted to say thank you to those who handled that.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Yay.
Yay.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the hazardous chemical removal project at Dothan High School and Carver 9 Ninth Grade Academy?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the hazardous chemical removal project at Dothan High and Carver Ninth Grade Academy.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, personnel.
Good evening again. So we have 4 deletions on tonight.
Okay.
It is D9. D is in dog, 9. E5, E12, and F8. E5 and F8 were added to the addendum. Okay. We have correction to previous action 8, resignations 20, additional or temporary employment 14, transfers 14, conditional appointments 25, appointments 23, non-acceptances 1, leave of absence unpaid 1, verification of higher degree 3, and then we have teens contract 6.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda with deleting D9, E5, E12, and F8?
Correct.
Madam Chairman? Lucretia, I just have a question. Under personnel, so 21B, if I want to pull that, do I do that now, or we can go ahead and approve 21A1?
What was that number again? I'm sorry.
21B.
B.
B is in boy.
What page is that on? I'm looking. I'm not, I don't see it. She just said.
I only have till to 20. Am I missing something?
Hold on just a second. We're trying to figure out what page it's on. Don't ask me what page it's on.
I was asking about 21B.
We can't find it.
It's under personnel.
She said it's under personnel. I can't find it either.
Personnel has A and B.
Yeah, this is only AI.
Personnel has A and B, that's B.
We don't see a 21 though. We don't see a 21.
Madam Chair, I had a couple that I would like to move to pull to discuss in executive session as
We can't
well.
find 21. B.
It's not on the personnel agenda.
It's,
That's a separate vote.
Yeah, we're clear on it
Okay.
now, so they're just trying to catch up.
Okay,
to where we are.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right. Is there another one you wanted to approve? Okay, all right. Okay.
I wanted to pull F13, D14, and E19 and discuss them in executive session.
You said
F13, D14, and E19.
One more time, please.
one more time.
Sorry, F13, D14, E19.
Thank you.
Do we need to make those as a separate?
I think we need to vote to pull them first, then we can vote for the rest of it all together.
Okay. F13, D14, and E19.
D14.
Yes, ma'am.
E19.
Yes, ma'am. All right, do I have a motion to pull F13, D14, and E19 to discuss in executive session?
I make a motion that we pull F13, D14, and E19 to discuss in executive session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Yay.
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 Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the personnel agenda with the deletions D9, E5, E12, and F8? I felt we're being
Madam Chair, I move that we approve personnel agenda as presented by Mr. Mallory with the exceptions.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay. Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. All right. So I think that means the next one we need to wait.
No.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the contract for, do I need to call that
Just B.
a retired teacher?
Yes, that's
Retired teacher.
Mr. Corbett? You have a new agenda.
Personnel agenda, executive director. He pulled
He-
two.
Oh, okay. Let me
Yeah, that's why that's why. I'll make sure everybody has the same one I have. I'm sorry, Mr. Corbett.
That's okay, Dr. Turner.
Oh,
I'd
Dr.
ask you,
Sorry,
members
Dr.
of the
Corbett.
board, I'm recommending the board approve the part-time retired teacher contract for Mr. Danny King at the Divergent Center as presented and recommended by the superintendent.
Okay.
Any questions about the contract? I know it was approved by Dustin with modifications, but I'm not sure what those were.
Okay.
Any,
Okay. Do we need to discuss it in executive session?
okay.
All right, Madam Chair, I make a motion that we discuss 21-3 in executive session, 21A3 in executive session.
Okay.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Corbett.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, Mr. Mallory, T&G Consulting.
Okay. This is a recommendation to the board to approve the attached contract on an as-needed basis for Title IX consulting services as presented and recommended by the superintendent. I have a summary on there. This would just be an as-needed basis for the next few months with a spend not to exceed $50,000 for purposes of the agreement, and it would come from the general fund.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the T&G Consulting for Title IX?
Okay. Okay, I have a question.
Okay, we got to get a motion second
Sorry.
first.
Okay, motion, did we do a motion?
We got to do a motion first.
All right. Motion to approve.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the T&G Consulting for Title IX.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, and discussion?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a concern for B, and that is that we are using T&G consultant as opposed to the current ICS consulting firm. That's my concern.
So TNG is the preeminent organization for Title IX professionals across the United States, which is why they were selected. ICS was prior to my arrival here. Maybe Mr. Mallory could speak to that.
I'm not familiar with, I mean, that may be who we use for some of our consulting now through our current Title IX, but that is not, I mean, it's not an exclusive. TNG has someone that is local. Well, I say local within the state of Alabama, so that's why we had spoken with them.
Anyone else? All right. All in favor? Yay. Okay, all opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion does not carry for lack of majority.
I have a question on that. Would that not be a conflict of interest for a certain board member to vote since it's dealing with something that her daughter's position is in? Do you have an answer for that, Dustin? Yes.
But, I mean,
Well, you know,
wait. If you sustain, then you're not here. That's the part. It requires a majority, and that will be a majority. Let me ask you. Our attorney, if she abstains from this vote, then she's not present. Is that correctly? But
does that
then
mean-
that'll be 5 members left to vote.
It doesn't matter. Still wouldn't pass because she's present. Right. But she's still here. Yeah, so it still wouldn't pass. Because, yeah. I'm sorry? Okay. But the question is that if she abstains, would it reach majority? Right, majority would be 4, so there's no need.
Except that if it comes back in the future, she would need to have abstained from the vote.
Right. So do we need to re-vote and let her abstain? Okay. Right.
Okay, our quorum is a different thing, right? If, with 5 of us, we have a quorum. But if she abstains, then we have 5 members voting. And the majority of 5
It's 3.
are 3.
Right.
And in the meeting.
Right.
Okay. I know we have to have a quorum to conduct business. I understand that. Would you check that?
Mr. Attorney, and could you also check and see how that would directly apply to me in this instance? This is not about a family member.
No.
This is about a
company
consulting
contract.
firm and changing a consulting firm.
That directly affects her daughter's position.
What do we do in the meantime?
Table it.
According to Robert's Rules of Order, she's still present, so it would be the same results.
We'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Okay. You make that
Table
note
it
to
to the
bring it
next
back
meeting.
again. Okay. We'll do that. We'll bring
What
it
do we
back
need to do? We'll bring it back at the next meeting.
again. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But Robert's Rule says that you would still be present, so you're, yes, ma'am.
We're not voting on it now.
So I think we're still waiting on the attorney to explain the conflict on this.
Okay.
My concern with the conflict is that she would be voting on something that would directly impact a family member. And if she abstains from it, then we don't have to deal with any future problems on that come around. So right now, the vote would stay the same no matter what. You just would have not been a part of that vote, just because that decision directly impacts the people that will work with your family member. That's where my concern is. Is that a conflict of interest? Is that something that can come back on us later?
I don't see it that way, but we'll let our attorney do the research on this.
Okay. Can we agree to let him research while we hear from our public commenters? I said, can we move forward to public comments and let him research this? Okay, great. We have one person wishing to speak to us tonight, Miss Letitia Daniels-Jackson. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And you have,
Madam Chairman, Superintendent Askew, and board members present, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I am Letitia Daniels-Jackson, the convener of the South Alabama Black Women's Roundtable and the Democratic nominee for Houston County Commission District Number 1. Before I make my comments, I'd like to say that I think that of voting on a consulting contract for a company that she does not have any connection to should not be a conflict, but I will let your attorney address that because I'm actually here for another matter. I am still in support of the long dormant 100-day plan that I just want to make sure that is known for the record. That is not what I'm here to speak about today either. But I wanted to make sure that you all know that I'm still in that position. What I came here to speak about today is a matter of public concern that the community has met about and talked about over the last several days. And it concerns the Dothan City School, and not only that, the Dothan City School, but the state of Alabama's code as it refers to strict mandatory reporting policies. And the codes basically says that all school personnel, all as in every single individual, from custodian to teacher, are legally recognized as mandatory reporters and are required immediately to report any suspected child abuse, neglect, threats, or harm to Dothan City, well, it says Dothan City School Administration, law enforcement, and, not or, Child Protective Services. I'm deeply concerned because we had 2 individuals who were arrested for failure to adhere to this policy. However, it is my understanding that these 2 individuals were either the third and fourth or the fourth and fifth persons to learn about the situation. And I have a couple of questions based on what the Alabama Code 2614(3) states about mandatory reporting requirements. Why were 2 individuals who were either third, fourth, or fifth in the line of learning of the incident arrested when the individual who made the first report, albeit anonymously, the individual reported it, and the individual she reported it to, and the individual he reported it to, were not arrested? The community wants to know that. Why the mandatory requirements means that the law holds each individual liable. Additionally, the code clearly states that an investigation does not supersede the reporting requirements. The report to DHR and law enforcement must happen immediately prior to any start of any investigation by any individual learning of the incident. The second question I have is, who contacted the Dothan Police Department to urge them to bring charges against only those 2 individuals? And why is it being done, and what is being done to correct the egregious selective prosecution of these 2 individuals? Please know that the community does not plan to sit back quietly and let this get swept under the rug. We are watching, and we will not stand by while we allow 2 upstanding community members to be selectively prosecuted while 3 other individuals who had direct knowledge of this incident did not report and did not get arrested. What we want is to either every individual who had prior knowledge without carrying out their duty to report be charged and arrested, or we want all charges dropped, records cleared, including arrest records, and a public apology to the individuals who were arrested and in fact were the only ones who actually carried out their obligation for mandatory reporting. It's important to state that I understand clearly that this is an active investigation, but we also want you to know that we are not going to sit back and allow 2 individuals' careers and lives be negatively impacted while you let 3 other people walk away with no incidents whatsoever. That's not going to stand. The other thing I'd like to say is something that I heard in the meeting today is it's being alleged that there are conversations being had that really amount to polling board members prior to a policy decision. And just in case you don't know, that is a violation of the of the Open Records Act. And for an individual to be polled about whether or not a decision is going to be made by this board, and that decision is made without public knowledge and without public record of a meeting being held, is a violation of the Public Records Act, just in case you didn't know that. Thank you.
Do you have anything for us, Dustin? Do you have anything for us? You're still looking, okay.
May I ask Ms. Hendricks again?
So,
Ms. Hendricks, may I address her? Ms. Hendricks?
yes, and then I would like to
Tell
say
me again
something as well.
about the quorum and the passing of this item with an abstention. That's the 4. I think we need to, I'm voting no, but I think we need to consider that. I know it can possibly go either way, and based on our policy, our policy says that. We can do it.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn into executive session for good name and character? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'm sorry, I'm speaking out of turn, ma'am.
Oh, it's okay.
Yes. So we have nothing on the table right now.
Well, I think we're still waiting on him. And I thought we agreed that we were going to bring this back up at a later date.
Tonight?
Okay, all right. We can bring it up later tonight once he researches it. Or do you want to wait till after executive session, or do we want to? Wait for him.
I think the key in this is majority.
So my understanding is that we have to have 4 to have a meeting as a quorum. There has to be at least 4 of us here, but the vote is based on the majority of people here. If she abstains, she's still one of the people here, so even the yeses would not have gotten the majority. It still would have just been a no vote, like it was a 3-3, which was a no vote. But that way she would have abstained, and there is no conflict. So the final outcome wouldn't be any different except for the fact that she's abstained from it.
Yeah, for example, if you had 7 members present, for instance, and 3 vote in favor, 2 opposed, and 2 abstain, then the record would still show 7 present, 5 voted, 2 abstained. So what Lucretia is telling us, it would still be, you would still need the majority. So 4 to have a quorum, and so you would still have to have the majority vote for it to pass. So you would still have to have 4 for it to pass.
May I?
3, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Quorum has to do with number presence and the ability to conduct business. My concern is, if she drops out, we still have 5, which means we have a quorum. We can still conduct business. But does it take 4 votes based on our policies, is what I was asking Ms. Hendrick. Based on our policies, does it still have to have 4 to pass with 5 people being counted present?
According to our policy, we follow Robert's Rules of Order. According to Robert's Rules of Order, it would still require a majority. So the majority of votes.
See, you're not using the same word.
Something different.
She said quorum, and you saying majority.
Okay.
Majority of 5 is 3.
It would have to have 4 of us. Correct? That's my understanding as well.
So,
Yeah, at
Our
this
attorney,
point, I
that's-
definitely would like our attorney to figure this out. You know, we're paying him, so I definitely would like a legal perspective on this.
we need to know if the 3 would be a majority or if it would still just be a split. What does the majority constitute?
Madam Chair,
Okay,
may I ask a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you all explain to us why voting on a consultant contract for a consulting firm constitutes a conflict? Because Ms. Guilford would have to have some kind of dealings with that firm to present a conflict. The fact that she has a family member who serves in that role has nothing to do with the fact that you are talking about hiring a consulting firm. So I'd like to understand why you all feel like voting on a consulting firm that she has no conflicts of interest with is a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Madam
We
Chairman, we're
just
out
had-
of order.
We're out of order, and we're having our attorney look at it.
Yeah, I understand you're out of order, but I just want to make sure you all understands what the issue is. The issue
Okay.
is you are
Ma'am,
not voting on
you're
that
out of order.
position.
Please turn off the microphone.
Okay. Just as long as you all understand what you're doing.
yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to ask our attorney a question, if he will.
Dustin?
Dustin, I would like to know whether or not you are telling me, as our attorney, that I cannot vote, that it is a conflict. I would like to hear from you. Huh? Right. Right. Yeah, but you can tell, can.
Right.
I think
We
that,
know it's a quorum.
Yeah.
yeah,
Before we get into the fact of the vote for, any issue related to 3-2, or does it have to have 4 as a majority if she abstains?
That's the question.
Right.
I'm still at the point that I don't see it as a conflict. Mr. Dustin, I don't see it as a conflict, but if you tell me that, if you put on record that, then I will accept it. But it needs to go on record that we are, that you are advising. Okay.
Do y'all agree to go into executive while he's looking? Is that okay? All right. Okay. So, do I have a motion to adjourn into executive session for good name and character?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn into executive session to discuss good name and character.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. Okay, motion carries. sorry. Motion to adjourn into executive session for, motion to reconvene into regular session. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we reconvene into regular session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Or is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. There was nothing decided in executive session. All right, do I have a motion to approve F13?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve F13.
All right, do I have a second? Second. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. D19, do I have a motion to approve D19? I'm sorry, D14. Do I have a motion to approve D14?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve D14.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second? I second it. All right, is there any discussion in it? Okay, all in favor? Yay. All opposed?
Nay.
Motion does not carry. All right, E19. Do I have a motion to approve E19?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve E19.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Nay. Are y'all?
I'm trying to show her who it is on here. She's on the right page.
Okay.
So I'm sorry. Yeah.
We can start over.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
All opposed for E19? All in favor for E19?
Yay. In favor?
All in favor? Yes.
Yeah, it's this one right here. I said yay.
Okay, all opposed? Nay.
Yay.
And nay. Okay, so motion does not carry for, it did not get. Yes, for E19? Miss Brenda voted yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Ashley voted yes. For E19. And then me. Okay, so motion.
The
does
first
carry.
couple times, it's changed every time, so.
All right, so motion carries. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the contract for the retired teacher?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the contract for the retired teacher.
Do I have a second? Second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We do not have any new business, and we have the following board meeting dates. Tuesday, July 14th at 5:30 PM is a special called school board meeting. Monday, July 27th, 2026 at 5:30 PM is a board work session. And Tuesday, July 28th at 5:30 PM is a special called school board meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Yay. All opposed? Motion carries.